I'm Brian McClellan, curator of the Cattaraugus County Museum. In honor of America's 250th anniversary, we are sitting down with some of the dedicated researchers of our county's narrative. What you're about to see is one small but powerful piece of our history. These are the stories of our past.
Robert Morris, who funded the Revolutionary War. He was from Philadelphia. He funded the Revolutionary War, and he helped fund this Holland Land Company, which were other Dutch men who came over and saw a need for the men from Massachusetts, Vermont, Connecticut. They wanted to move west after the Revolutionary War, and so that's why they founded this area. It only went to Syracuse at the most, but this was from the Genesee, Rochester, and east or west. Joseph Ellicott was born in Bucks County, Pennsylvania, in November 1st, 1760. He came from a large family. He loved math. He loved doing things with numbers. He and his brother Andrew, who was the oldest, surveyed and laid out Washington, D.C. together. In 1794, he was asked by the Holland Land Company to come work for them and survey 3.3 million acres from the Genesee River to Lake Erie and then south. He started in planning in the 1796, sorry. And he needed 50 barrels of beef. He needed 250 barrels of flour, 100 barrels of pork. He had 5 boats, 2 teams of oxen, 100 draft horses, work horses, 200 pairs of shoes for the horses. For 150 men, he worked under him. He also had 200 pairs of shoes for them. He had lead pencils so he could write all his notes. He had 6 bind notebooks so he could jot down all that he did. Because he was going north-south direction, survey compass wouldn't work for him. So he wanted a transit tripod, which the only transit tripod they had was his brother's, Andrew's, and he was using it. So he and his brother Benjamin, who also was a surveyor, invented their own. Also decided to help with the Erie Canal. That he knew getting goods from New York City out to this area was very difficult. It would take days by horse and buggy, but on the canal it would work much faster. So he was big into helping plan and coming up with the Erie Canal. As he was the resident agent, he was asked to come up with 3 county seats. One in Allegheny County, which is Angelica. Mr. Church had a lot to do with Angelica becoming the county seat there. Chautauqua County was Mayville, and Cattaraugus County became Ellicottville, which he came up with 4 corners here. He wanted education, he wanted the religion, and he wanted the court system. On the 4 corners that started this little town. Then it built the streets, Elizabeth Street, Martha Street, and it built from there. All the streets were named after the presidents or their wives that were around here. Like our main street is Washington, and the one that intersects it is Jefferson. So
Did Did he ever live here?
No. And there's mixed stories. He had to have come here at one time or another. But there's mixed stories that, no, he was never here. It was just written down. But I think he had to have come here at least to survey the area and found. I know he wanted to call Batavia Ellicottville, and Batavia said no. He wanted to do something with Buffalo, and they said no. And Newfane, I think was. They wanted, and they said no. So he said, okay, we'll take this little place and call it Ellicottville. He was single all his life. Land was his family. As I said before, he had a big family. He built a big house in Batavia near the Holland Land Company. After all the work he did for the Holland Land Company, in 1821, they decided, because his mind was starting to go, that he wasn't useful anymore. So they asked him to step down from being the resident agent. So he went and traveled a little bit, went back to Bucks County and saw his family, came back, got his will done. When he passed away, he was worth $600,000, which in 1826 was a lot of money. And his brothers, sisters, his nieces and nephews all received that. In 1824, his family decided his mind was going dark. He had sad thoughts, dark thoughts. So they put him in an asylum in New York City. And the doctors tried to help him. And he, in August 1st of 1826, he escaped his handlers, the hospital, and hung himself in a closet with a handkerchief. I don't know, for a man who did so much, he doesn't get the credit that he should for this whole area.